The quantum sector is preparing for its next big rally, while most investors are not even aware it's happening. D-Wave Quantum is a unique player here as it holds an effective monopoly on what is called quantum annealing, and it holds an extremely promising structure to look for a trade setup. So today I will share with you the exact setup that I'm tracking, the levels that I'm looking to reach within the next move up, the region, as well as more precise targets, when we can start expecting a bottom to form within the current smaller time frame decline, as well as the exact levels of invalidation. Welcome to the trade setup. For this stock, we are tracking what appears to be a quite promising structure. We are looking at a larger impulse, still in formation, where we would currently still possibly be within the larger wave 3 to the upside. In this movement, we can expect a rather strong wave 5 to still materialize, as it is quite common within such degrees of a wave 3. Within this structure, we are looking at a potentially complete larger wave 4 correction that has taken nearly half a year to materialize. And already we have appropriate proportions with what I have within this larger wave 2 correction, which is strongly suggesting the possibility of a bottom. And not only that, I also have an internal confirmation within the smaller time frame, an initial 5-wave move to the upside that allows me to look with high probabilities for a 3-wave correction into an internal area of support, levels from which I can expect continuation to higher prices within at least another 5-wave move to the upside with high probabilities. Now, as it is with any investment, this doesn't come risk-free. This setup strongly relies on having a bottom in. If we get a reset of the larger wave 4 correction, we will be exposed to a high risk that we will not even be able to track more than one additional high. Getting a reset within the current low of this larger wave 4 would strongly imply the possibility of a much larger degree wave 3 top being in place, implying that this wouldn't have been a double 1-2 setup, but rather all of it would have been part of the larger correction, an A, B, C pattern in this structure, where we would likely have to expect the current larger degree wave 4 correction to extend significantly more. So right now, the setup strongly implies that the bottom is in. We are looking for direct continuation to higher prices from this time frame perspective, where this wave 5 we are tracking would be between the 38.2% extension of this entire movement up to the 61.8% extension. So we have actually a pretty large range. We could be tracking for a possible top to form within this movement between $65 all the way up to $176. Everything within this range being a realistic target. And certainly we will get more precise data, more precise levels to expect as this structure continues to develop. For example, right now I am looking at this internal 1-2 setup where I already have the initial 5 waves up. I'm looking for the 3 waves down. And once I have a low within this white wave 2, I can share with you the exact levels I expect to see within a wave 3 at the very least, looking at the 138.2% extension of the wave 1. With the currently available low that we have at this point in the wave 2, that sits at $70. It doesn't need to stop there. But most likely, if this structure is to work out, I would expect to reach at least those levels. And that would not even be my top. Once we complete that structure, this white wave 3, we can then expect a correction within a white wave 4 and continuation to even higher prices within a wave 5. So we can easily expect in the case of this stock from the white wave 2 low to see at the very least a 4x in its price action. But for this to remain a reliable setup, the levels of support that we have here in this white zone between $22.30 down to $15.50 need to hold. We can get a brief break below the 78.6% retracement, but it cannot be a sustained break, as that would already strongly suggest the probabilities of getting a reset within the entire correction, the entire pattern down, would have increased substantially. And while true invalidation only occurs once we break below the beginning of this entire move up, which sits right around $12.75, we would not be able to have strong faith in this still recovering if we cannot hold the internal levels in this white support box. And to be honest, even if we are to eventually see a reset and an extended correction, I would most likely expect to get, at the very least, another 5-wave move to the upside to build a more clear 3-wave pattern before ultimately extending to lower prices within a follow-up wave C. I find that to be more likely than it currently is to see direct continuation to lower prices, but even for that scenario, the white support zone must hold. Now, looking at the internal structure, I am looking for a 3-wave correction in both cases, and within this pattern, I could consider the wave 1 to have topped either here or here. It doesn't really matter too much. I am looking for 3 waves down, and I could track something like an A, B, C pattern to be emerging, in which case we would actually have to see 5 waves down within the wave C. That is not exactly ideal for the pattern that we have for this stock, as it would imply that this would be a double 1-2 setup. The wave 3 would now be developing and likely extending even lower, and even once that is done, we could see a couple of additional 4-5 patterns to complete the entire white wave 2. And all of that could very realistically happen entirely within the white support zone. If I were to consider the larger time frame perspective alone, however, I do see significant support around the 61.8% retracement area, also in line with the larger level of support for the wave 4, the 23.6% retracement at $17.50. We have structural support that has formed at these levels, local bottoms that have managed to previously form within this structure, marking an extremely relevant level of support. Yes, here the 61.8% retracement, $18 is an extremely important level in my opinion. Now, if I were to look for the ideal target for the wave C, well, that would be very close to being reached. The 100% extension of a supposed wave A, and we can even label this, but it seems rather likely at this point that a bottom would not be expected within the immediate reach of this level, since, as I was mentioning earlier, this pattern would easily allow further extensions to even lower prices, as I am currently able to even track something like a 1, 2, as I'm even currently able to track a wave 3 to be still in development, for which the ideal target is at the 138.2% extension of the wave 1, $17.70 instead. Now, to be honest, other interpretations are actually a very realistic possibility. As we have shared on other quantum stocks, we do not need to consider the wave B to have topped here. In fact, I could maybe even track the wave A to have bottomed all the way down here, the wave B to have topped here, in which case, yes, we would still have this same wave 3 in development, but then the stock would only need a 4th and a 5th to complete this as a wave C. It would have a better fit in terms of proportions, but then even other scenarios remain a possibility, and I wouldn't focus too much on which of these interpretations is to ultimately play out. I could see the wave B to have even topped here, and then this would have been a 1, 2, 3, 4th, and a 5th, where we would be very close to a potential bottom within the wave 2. As I've shared within other quantum stocks, looking to catch the bottom might not be the best play here. I would certainly expect to see a stronger reaction around the 61.8% retracement, as we also have significant structural support around this region. But the correction doesn't need to immediately end at these levels, so I will definitely be watching out for any relevant levels of resistance that could be broken, for any signs of a potential local bottom that could form within this structure. Now, I will be primarily focusing on this being a wave 3 that would still be able to extend, and for this scenario I would still have to assume that this would be a 1, 2, 3, 4th, and a 5th, and within this wave 5 we could see even further extensions, For this interpretation, I would have to watch out for internal levels of resistance firstly, watching the 78.6% retracement for a potential 1-2 within this orange wave 5, looking at $21.30. And if this is to have a bottom in, I would need to look out for the next levels of resistance for a potential 1, 2, 3, 4th, and a 5th. For this scenario, I would have to watch out only for the 50% retracement up to $22.20. If and only if we manage to get a break above these levels, do we have the thesis for a potential early bottom at this point in time? As it stands right now, I do not see a sign of a bottom. I prefer continuation to lower prices, but I strongly believe in the bullish case for this stock. Having this internal wave 4 sit exactly at the 38.2% retracement, $21.60, is actually a decently strong case for potentially having a bottom within this large degree wave 3 and looking for the larger wave 4 correction likely to head exactly back into this region before continuing this overall downtrend within a larger wave C. Now, what to take away from this video? Well, we have quite a few options in terms of the correction, but the levels of support are extremely clearly defined. We have significant structural support just below the current levels, starting around $18, and we can look for a potential bottom in that area, but identifying some signals would likely prove to be of great benefit. In the end, as long as we do not get a sustained break below $15.50, we would expect with high probabilities to see continuation to much higher prices in the case of this stock, if not within a wave 3 to new all-time highs, at the very least within a wave C before ultimately seeing a larger correction reset. And for now, I will stop here, but if you want even more from me, you can check out the Patreon, and these are the levels. This is the trade setup. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, and if you enjoyed the content and want to support it directly, check out the channel membership, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.